Why, hello there. Today I'm going to do a review of a TV show. Specifically, I'm going to share my thoughts on the new TV show Call Me Kat that has recently started here in the US. It is a remake of the British sitcom Miranda. Last year, Ian and I discovered this series Miranda, which was on air between 2009 and 2015. We just loved that show. I watched the first episode and I was laughing so hard I could barely catch my breath. So I really wanted to binge watch it. So we pretty much watched all 20 episodes of the show pretty quickly. Here are the main reasons why I love the show. First and foremost, Miranda Hart is a genius actress. She has like a Lucille Ball level of talent. Her comedic timing, her physical comedy are just remarkable. And she also just has this really likable air about her. So you just like her and laugh at her and laugh with her. The supporting characters are also wonderful. They were all perfectly cast, and each of them are very talented actors with pretty quirky, eccentric characters that just make the show really fun to watch. The whole ensemble of talent is fantastic. The show is funny and unique. They have really quirky situations that Miranda is in, and so it's not like just every other sitcom you've seen. You find yourself really laughing at Miranda, but also rooting for her. And just to round off the Lucille Ball comparisons, if you've watched Miranda and you've seen the sushi restaurant episode, oh my goodness, it was so funny. I was dying laughing. It was right up there with classic I Love Lucy epic scenes. So I'd love to know, have you seen the show Miranda? And if so, what did you think of it? Are you an avid fan like me? I'd love to hear your opinions in the comments. So a few weeks ago, I saw an advert for the new series Call Me Kat, starring Mayim Bialik. I could immediately tell watching the preview that it was a remake of Miranda, a single woman in her late 30s who owns a shop, and next door her old college friend slash crush was working at a restaurant. Yep, I knew it was a Miranda remake. And I'll confess to you, I was pretty skeptical. I did not expect to like the show. I was almost wincing at the idea of them trying to redo my favorite show. Well, actually, my second favorite. I think my all-time favorite BritCom in the history of ever is One Foot in the Grave. That show just has a special place in my heart, but I think second to that, I super love Miranda. So I was not expecting to like Call Me Kat just because I didn't think anyone could properly redo Miranda. But I do love Mayim Bialik. I think she's a very talented actress. I remember watching her back when she had Blossom, the TV show that she starred in as a child actress. And then she had a supporting role in The Big Bang Theory, one of the most successful American sitcoms of all time, and she was brilliant in that. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm gonna be open-minded and watch Call Me Kat. I've now watched the first 3 episodes, all the ones that have been released so far, and here's my opinion of what I think is good, better, or not as good compared to Miranda. First of all, Mayim's acting is good. She is a talented actress and she does a really good job with this role. Her character of Kat is lovable and quirky, so I still hold a very high opinion of Mayim as an actress. One thing that is the same in both series is that the lead actress speaks directly to the camera, or as they call it, they break the fourth wall, and she talks directly to you as the audience. I don't mind this, and in fact, I find it kind of charming because she's kind of confiding in you as a friend about her foibles and challenges, her dreams, her embarrassment. So I think it's kind of fun. And I think both actresses, both Miranda and Mayim, do a good job with that different approach. I think it really works and it doesn't come off as being hokey. Another thing that I thought was good with Mayim in the Call Me Kat series is that she's a really good singer. I had kind of forgotten how big a role singing had in the show, And Mayim does a great job with it. She has a good voice, and it's really funny and an enjoyable part of the show. In the show, Miranda, the lead character, owns a joke shop. And in Call Me Kat, the lead character owns a cat cafe. This is actually something that I thought was even better in the remake because, I mean, honestly, cats, they're so cute. and the trained cats that they have in this show are really fun to watch. So I'm a sucker for cat videos just like the next person. So having this TV show integrating all the cute cats interacting with the actors, I thought was actually something that makes it even more fun. Now for what I don't like about the new series. While Mayim is a very talented actress, she just doesn't have the immense gift for physical comedy that Miranda Hart has. I just think she's kind of at a whole nother level. And I did find that a little disappointing because that's what makes Miranda just an amazing and unique show. Moving on to the rest of the cast. The characters in Call Me Kat just are not as funny as they are in Miranda, in my opinion. In Miranda, they are so quirky and so funny. And in Call Me Kat, they're just a little bit over the top, kind of unbelievable, playing on stereotypes, trying really hard to make jokes that just aren't really that funny. Which leads me to my biggest issue with the new show is I just don't think the writing is that good. The jokes kind of stand out in a really awkward way in the script. They don't feel natural and funny and quirky in the way that they did in Miranda. Don't get me wrong, Miranda can still be over the top silly, but you're not distracted by, that's just a really bad joke. The script feels a bit overreaching in trying to make things funny, especially, honestly, really crude jokes that they're making. And even when the script is going for scenes that are more romantic and serious and touching, it also just didn't really ring true, which was disappointing. I think that the actors in Call Me Kat are good actors, but brilliant acting can't make up for a really bad script. And honestly, it's a bit cringeworthy at times. But you know what? It's always challenging to do remakes, especially of very well-loved shows. What are your thoughts on this? What remakes have you seen that you thought were fantastic or that you thought were just dogs, just really disappointing and missed the mark? I'd love to hear your thoughts. When America tried to do a remake of One Foot in the Grave, it was disastrous. It had absolutely none of the magic and phenomenal wit of One Foot in the Grave. One Foot was so sarcastic and just had that kind of dark, over-the-top British humor that made it such a one-of-a-kind show, and they just should not have tried to do it in the US because no one else could do the amazing Victor Meldrew the way it was done in One Foot in the Grave, and they just shouldn't try. When I watched the American remake, I just said to myself, I don't believe it. I can't believe they're trying to remake my favorite show. It just didn't work. Honestly, of all the BritComs that I've seen redone in the US, the only one that I thought was really terrific was The Office. Of course, both shows had comic geniuses, or is it genii? I don't know. Well, whatever. They just had amazing comic actors in the lead role in both the American and the British versions of The Office. And the supporting casts in both shows were also stellar. I remember watching the original British version of The Office and just thinking the writing was amazing. And I think that was the trick. When they came to the US with the show, the writing was also amazing. And it was adapted for the American context and culture, and even the actors and characters that they developed uniquely within the show here in the US. As I watched episode 1 of the British Office and episode 1 of the American Office, I noticed that the jokes were similar, but they changed and adapted them to be appropriate for this setting, and both times they really worked. So I give kudos to the creators of both of those shows, all the writers and the actors. They both were just brilliant, brilliant comedies. So that was one time that the remake really worked. Let's contrast that to the first episode of Call Me Kat. I was looking out for the one scene in the first episode of Miranda that just had me doubled over with laughter. It's where Miranda is caught lying about the fact that she has children. And then she decides that it's not a good thing for her to have children, so she has to make the children go away. So she invents a story about how her children died, which, you know, that's not a funny topic, but that's British humor for you. It can be rather dark at times. So she just has this hilarious and ridiculous way that she kind of tries to cover up and compensate for one lie by making up more lies and stories, and it gets more outlandish and it's just ridiculous. So they tried to do the same plot point in Call Me Kat, and Kat's character lied about having kids and then had to invent some story about how the kids had died, and it just didn't work. So if you're going to try to do that really dark, sarcastic, satirical British humor, you just have to get all the nuances right. Otherwise, it doesn't work, in my humble opinion. What do you think? Have you seen examples of where Americans pull off British humor and it works? Because to me, that particular scene in Call Me Kat, rather than being hilarious and over-the-top ridiculous, it just came off as being a little bit uncomfortable and awkward. If you have seen Call Me Kat, please let me know what you think. And if you have Hulu and you can watch Call Me Kat versus Miranda, I would really love to hear what you think the comparison is between the two shows. And what you think of my opinions. Let me know. Would love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching, and do something good in the world today.